Hello and welcome to this edition of Crawdaddy Cosplay. Today we are going, this is a multi-part video, and we are going to be constructing our Space Marine Mark VII helmet. I have printed all of the pieces that we need, and I've done surface prep on a lot of them, painted those that could be painted, that don't require any sort of assembly before we paint. So what we're going to do now is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do heat set inserts where we need to do heat set inserts. We'll mask those off. We will then glue all the joints that we need to glue together, and then we will take a break while I use some Bondo and other things to smooth over any joints where the pieces come together. We'll come back. I'll have the pieces primed, painted, and we'll finish up the assembly. So for the first part here, heat set inserts and getting some parts put together to kind of form a whole single piece that'll be painted and put together. So note that this is for revision 3 of the base helmet design, which is a very large change. It removes most of the mechanical fasteners from fabrication. I go down to only a few, and most joints are glued together. So let's go ahead and get onto these heat set inserts here. So if you use the McMaster-Carr heat set inserts, like I said, like I put in the instructions, you'll recognize the numbers I'm calling out. Otherwise, use whatever it is you've found and decided to use. So starting with part 1 Charlie here, 1 Charlie Lima, 1 Charlie Romeo. We're going to use a 363 on both of these. Give that just a few seconds to heat up. And we're just going to rest this on the plastic and let it melt its way in. This is one of the larger heat set inserts that we use, so it is going to take a little bit to get in there. Alright, we just want to make sure it's flush with the walls we've got on there. Alright. And that's actually pretty darn hot. I would not handle that, the metal part of that, for a while. I'll let that cool off. So for my soldering iron here, I got it set for 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which I found is a good temperature for PLA plastic. If you're using ABS, you probably want to go a little higher. I don't know what you would use. I don't typically print in ABS. Alright, let's take a look at our handy dandy manual here and see what's next for inserts. Alright, whoa. So 5 Alpha, Lima and Romeo need 330. Well, no. 333. Okay. So we got 333s right here. And those are a slightly different size. So let's find out what size 333 is. You're going to need 2 of those. Okay. So this is very hot. You want to be very careful with this, not to grab any of the part that's hot. Alright, and for these pieces right here, these are 5 Bravos. They're going to need, oh no, sorry, 5 Charlies get the heat set inserts. And these are 331s, which are the same size, diameter, so they take the same screw as the 333s. But they're shorter barrel because I didn't have as much room, and we'll need 4 of these. So general parts that were very important to the structural integrity of the helmet still keep mechanical fasteners, and for the most part cosmetic parts do not. Let's see if I got them all here. So we should have had 4, 6, 8 heat set inserts. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. All right, that's it. I mean, there were 20 or 30 in the last design, so I think this will make folks a lot happier. All right. Let's go ahead and shut that off, let it cool down. Just kind of get this out of the way. Alright, let's introduce some parts here. We're actually not going to go in order here. We're going to start with the interior structure of the helmet, which is part 5. And I noticed, so here's parts 5 Alpha Bravo, 5 Alpha Lima, 5 Alpha Romeo for left and right. And I did notice I neglected to remove the brim, it looks like, on these pieces, or at least the inside edges of these pieces. Oh, just that one. Okay, good. Alright. So these will go together. Now these parts will be painted on the bottom side. So I will put these two parts together, but I'm not going to connect anything else to this. That's going to have to get painted separately. And I'll also use, so you can see here, I'll show you on the side camera here. There's some warping on this bottom piece. It doesn't quite come together. It's okay. We'll fix that with the Bondo glazing putty. So this will get stuck together. So the helmets come with foam templates for you to use. So I've changed up what the template looks like for this revision and all the other helmets in this collection, the Mark VII collection, going forward. So here's what's going to go inside this. So we'll put 5 Bravo left and right together, and then we'll insert the foam insert, and then we'll attach the 5 Charlie to that, and then we will set that aside, and that'll actually take care of some of our nuts and bolts for a while. So we're going to need our contact cement. Our masks, which is also right here. And rubber gloves. So this is Miter Apple. It is a glue and activator combination. I really like it. It bonds in seconds. You just better be darn sure of what you're putting it on. But I cannot recommend this more highly. However, do not use this on components that are painted. The activator feels like it's a pretty decent solvent because it was taking some of the paint off of some of the items I was working with. Check our fit up. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, and the side that has the slots, that's where we'll put our cement. There we go. And more is certainly less with this stuff. Oh, and we want to hit the front joint right here. Shoot. All right, we'll hold that together. About 15 seconds. All right, now that is one piece, which is a not bad anime. My son and I have started watching that. It's been a lot of fun. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these parts on there. So that was the left side, that's the right side. While that is setting up, let's go ahead and get this 5 alpha piece put together. Not easy, that's ready. And by all means, cut this. You want this foam? Choose the thickness that fits you. For me, between 8 and 10 millimeters is good for me. There we go. Nice. I always like to wear a hat or something underneath to collect the sweat from my head. Something light, so I need a little bit of extra room. Alright, and since that is done, let's go ahead and look and see what screws we need for this part right here. So we go to our drawings, and I know you can't see this, I'm not insane. But if you go to the drawings, anything that takes a fastener or anything like that is going to be on here, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to use. Alright, so for these we need 130s. So again, these are references to McMaster Carr part numbers. If you don't use McMaster Carr, I suggest you read the description based on the part number I got and buy whatever it is you want to use. I got one guy out there just uses freaking drywall screws and no heat set inserts at all, and that works for him, so he should just keep on doing what works for him. There we go. And if you were so inclined, you could fill in these holes if you wanted. So this is parts 5A and 5C, so 5 Alpha, 5 Charlie right there. And we're not going to connect that to the 5 Alpha because this is going to get painted. So we've got the surface was, this part was down on the glass, so this surface is fine, but I'm going to need to hit it with some primer and then we're going to paint it, the bottom side. However, we can go ahead and get the magnets installed on this piece. So there are 4 holes, upper and lower, on here for you to see, that you can see. With this particular mask, you're only going to need 2 magnets on this and 2 magnets on the faceplate. That's enough to hold it up. I designed these for more than just one helmet, with the anticipation that at some point I may have a helmet like a beaked helmet or something like that that might be heavier and need magnets, more pull strength, keeping those magnets on there. So that's why that is the way it is. And these magnets are not the cheapest hardware. They're $2 or $3, $4 a piece, so you could probably get away with just the 4. But we're going to go ahead and install these, and it's important we make sure they're in the right direction. Now the first one we can just install, and that will decide the direction for all of the others. So I'm going to use the top chamber. That with the activator. And just drop it in the hole. I prefer that all of the magnets go in the same direction on both sides, that the poles be aligned. That's not a requirement, but that's just me being obsessive compulsive, I guess. Alright, so that's the side that's going to go down. There we go. All right. Better. All right, and so the companion pieces to this, the parts 3 alpha. Let's go ahead and get the magnets in those. Remember, we used the top. So let's go ahead and get, it's just easier to do this before you get all the other pieces in here. There we go. Just need about a drop or two. That's the side that's going to go to it. These are pretty strong magnets, but also with my design, there's plastic in between them, so they never actually touch. You'll find if you let the magnets touch, they may pull out of the glue that you've got on there, or just really be a real pain to come apart. So there's a little bit of an air gap there with some plastic in between. But we'll let that just kind of chill aside for a few moments and let that glue set up. Now note on these 3 alphas, we don't have any more prep we've got to do to those to get those ready to paint. You'll notice the surfaces here are all sanded down to get rid of any layer lines and stuff like that that might be on there. So now we've got the heat set inserts and the magnets out of the way, we can begin our construction in earnest. So let's go ahead and get the faceplate out of the way. So the way I designed these faceplates, structurally there's 3 2 or 3 components that make up the structure. The rest are pretty much all detail pieces. So there's part 4 Alpha Lima and 4 Alpha Romeo. Okay, that's like your main face piece. And then here in this groove, you can either print it in the default, which has a nice fillet and these curved edges here, and gives you plenty of room here on your chin, or you can print it like I did here with the neck seal, is what I call it. So that this part is flat, and this foam part right here, part 4 Bravo, is going to go and stick in there. So the foam part is what touches your chin here, and you get a nice good neck seal on there, but you don't have that hard plastic pressing up against your chin. You also get an STL file. You could print that out of TPU if it was desired. But I like the neck seal. I think it's a nice touch. Gets a nice good line there across your lower neck or upper neck there. So let's go ahead, let's fit these up, make sure we don't have anything obstructing our parts. No, we're good there. Okay. Sorry, I want to be looking at the part of the joint I can see when I do this, so that when I press it together I can minimize and make sure it stays nice and aligned. Of course, part of my glove would come off in there. Alright, so we do have some other stuff. That part of the glove will come out when I sand this joint and then fill it with Bondo. We'll go ahead and attach 3 Alpha to the faceplate now. And we're not going to attach that part 4 Bravo there until we get this piece prepped. Like these joints sanded down and filled with Bondo. So we took a lot of hardware off this facepiece. We used to have 2 bolts up here, a single screw down here, a bunch of heat set inserts. Now we just have these ledges here. And these pieces are just going to glue and stick right there. And actually, looking at this, we do not want to glue these pieces on here until we have the detail pieces slotted into this. So we are actually going to wait to glue this and put it in. What we'll do is we'll mask these ledges off so that when we paint, they don't get any paint in them. Alright, so that part is done. These parts are as done as I want them to be. Now comes the big construction project, and that's putting the main shell of the helmet together. This is made, it's designed for you to put both halves together as a half, a right half and a left half, and then stick the right half and the left half together. So let's connect part 3. So this is 3 Alpha Romeo to 3 Bravo Romeo. Okay. Again, I want to be looking at this joint so that if there's any minor adjustments to be made, I can see what they are. that's done. Go ahead and connect to alpha. This was another part that used to have a lot of screws and heat set inserts associated with it. Okay, let's get the left half now. Again, I'm just fitting these up to make sure there's not any obstructions, little pieces of plastic or anything that's going to keep them from sticking together. All right. So there's a part here, part 1 Echo Alpha, and part 1 Echo Charlie, which is the little grill that goes in the Mohawk. This is like a little setback piece to allow the Mohawk piece to be further back and inside of this piece here. This will get painted. I've sanded, prepped it, primed it. It'll be painted separately, and this part will just, when all of this is done, it's just going to slide up and in and get glued in. And I'll show you how to do that at the very end when we go to do that. I just want to let you know that there is some stuff for the shell that's going to have to be done still, but it's not at the stage where that's ready to happen. So let's go ahead and check the fit up of our right and left halves here. So it's going to require some help to go together. But we've also got some Bondo to help with that too. That's not bad. It's got some seams we got to fill in with a little bit of Bondo. Sand down some high edges. That's the base part of the helm right there. Alright, so I've got a bunch of prep I've got to do on these to get them ready to paint. So I will take a break. I'll have some movie magic, and in a day or two we'll probably come back to these ready to finish the assembly on. Thank you very much for your time. Welcome back. This is our second part of our video. We have, I took the parts we assembled in the first part and I bonded them and cleaned up the surfaces and have painted them. So these parts are all ready to go together now. So we are going to start with part 3 here and getting this sub-assembly built. As I mentioned before, I'm not using the miter apple on this. The activator has a adverse reaction to paint and dissolve it and break it down, so try to keep that away. So I'm just using a thick cyanoacrylate glue, which means I'm going to glue some pieces, have to pause the recording, come back when those pieces are set, and continue on that way. Sorry, got a little scared there. I'm used to the miter apple and it taken right away, but this is definitely going to take a little bit longer. Alright, we'll set these aside to let the glue set up on them. Let's go ahead and get the grill on this piece going. Got that, and we'll let that. It's going to have to sit the other way for us to put our other pieces to our hose in there, so we'll set that aside for now as it is. Let's go ahead and get our earpieces in. Just making sure I got a good fit on them. Yeah, I was a little afraid of that. So there's a little too much clearance on the earpiece, so it's not quite making an interference fit. So the glue doesn't want to hold it. So let's go and grab a couple towels, because I don't want to, our work surface here is a little jagged in areas from glue that's set up on it. So let's go ahead and lay that down on there like that. Good. We'll put a little bit more glue in here to make sure we're contacting the surfaces. So I've got chamfers on the earpiece here to make sure that it inserts more easily, because I was having some issues on some of my... These are resin, so it's a nice good surface finish on them, but not everyone has that, so that's not what I designed for. Okay, so we'll let that set up before we roll it over and get to the other side. In the interim, we've got part 1 Echo Alpha and 1 Echo Charlie. So this piece, you shouldn't need any glue for it. It should just be an interference fit, because it's going to go up into the mohawk area. There we go. And so, see, we got the nice blue there, and then we got the black for the grill there. And that's just going to slot up in there and get glued into place, which we'll have to do here in a moment while that contact cement is setting up. So let's go ahead and get this stuff out of the way here. And let's get another cloth. Finish our construction of this piece, the helmet insides, the interior, and the supports. And this is going to take the McMaster Car 135's metric alloy steels that are on the material sheet. It's fine. It didn't look like it was going in. There we go. We got some bite that time. All right. So this is the internal structure of the helmet right here. Right, we're going to wear. It's the foundation for all of the Mark VII helmet design pieces. They all have this particular setup in them. But it's nice. We got our foam here, and here's where the faceplate attaches. Alright, and we're going to pause for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and do the other side of the helmet here after that glue is set up, and we'll get our hose pieces in our helmet as well, and I'll see you in just a few. Okay, so I lied. We didn't take a few. We're going to, with this face piece in this position right here, there's actually a couple things we can do to it, and we're going to. I got the eye lenses here that I made using the bucks that I provide with the kit. So those eye lenses sit in there. And so we got that part knocked out. Oh yes, and so here we've got our part 4 Bravo that we made. We've painted it, and this is EVA foam, and we're just going to get it here on the neck piece here. This is what's going to be contacting our skin. Nice soft EVA foam as opposed to this hard plastic. You can also print this with just a filleted edge on it and not do the neck seal at all, if that's what you desire. We're just using regular contact cement for this, just like we do when we build with our EVA foam. That looks like it's about set up. Let's go ahead and get the other side on this. Now on this template there are some 45-degree angled grooves I put in the back here. Those are on the template, and that is to help line this up with the angled grooves we've got here on this piece right here. So that when it flexes, it gives us a nice defined bend right there. Go. We got a really nice, barely even tell it's there, EVA foam, nice material transition, and it helps us get a nicer defined neck seal, but also add a little more comfort to wearing that particular piece. Let's see how these pieces are doing. Looks like that's about ready. Alright, so we're going to do the right side of this real quick. Alright, now we are going to take that quick break, come back, get the left side of our faceplate. Ooh, shoot. And we don't let that set up. I almost forgot my hose pieces. I don't normally do these. That is the wrong way. That's the right one. There we go. Yep, you just not going to glue that hose piece, but could if I wanted to. Got a lot of movement. I think I'll glue it on this piece here. It's got more movement than I would like. It's going to rattle and make some noise. So we're going to do some glue on here. There we go. We'll set that in there. We'll give that 15 or 20 minutes, come back, flip it, do the other side. Be right back. Alright, so this side is set up. Let's go ahead and flip her over, get the other side done. And it does not look like that faceplate is done curing. I may have to get back to that piece. This is absolutely a piece we cannot have coming off, so a little more than I'm used to putting. We'll give that a while to set. And then come right back when that's done. Alright, this piece is set up, so now we're going to go ahead and insert our Mohawk grill. And we're going to rely on these parts here for alignment and just pull it flush up with this piece right here. So it'd probably be best. this. Sorry you're not going to get a good look from the front, but just keep a look down here. And with the paint and the other stuff in here, there's a little bit of resistance on these sides. Just no one's ever see those sides. Just make sure you get it. You have to force it down in there probably. Get that down on the ledges that are on the mohawk parts there. There we go. Pop, pop, and it's in. Come down just a little. It's in there pretty tight. It ain't moving around. So let's go ahead and look at getting this support structure in here. So these right here are, let's see what kind of bolts we got for that right there. The bolt is a 211. So this second screw is not quite perfectly aligned, and I don't want to damage those threads anymore. So we're going to hold off on putting that piece in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Dremel and I'll remove a little bit of the plastic that's keeping this from aligning, and then I'll thread this all the way in. Actually, if I just push a little harder there, it looks like that might line up. Let's try another bolt. There we go. There was some slight misalignment, damaged the other bolt, and that one managed to go in nice and neat. So it looks like we're ready for these two pieces to go together. We just go under, there we go. What do we think? Well, that's our Space Marine Mark VII Revision 3 helmet that has gone down to 8 heat set inserts and 8 bolts from probably about 3 times that much stuff, but that's how we put it together. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. I enjoyed making it for you. Check me out in my Etsy store or at crawdaddycosplay.com. Thank you very much.